Positive energy all the time. Hope you're all doing great. Health is wealth, so take care of yourself. I hope you're all doing excellent. Rep your city, represent your city. You know how we do over here. When you're watching, Pharaoh said that we always want to give respect to where we live at. Right now, I'm living in Chicago, Illinois. Shout out to everybody on Facebook, Twitch, Kick, and YouTube from the great city of Chicago, Illinois. We got Brooklyn in the building. We got New Orleans in the house. We got the beautiful and lovely Queen from Richmond in the building. Looking lovely as always. We got Greensboro, North Carolina in the building. Yeah, rep your city, rep your city. I cannot believe what I'm about to talk about. I tell you. Now, the first thing is we want to get straight. I'm not a political hack. Okay, I never get into the Democrat versus Republican type of situation. I live in Chicago, Illinois, which is called a Democratic machine. And so that's by default. I don't vote every presidential election. I only vote if there's a candidate I like. And if there's a candidate I like, I vote. I don't really campaign or stuff. For this past election, I was actually campaigning. So that was a little different for me. Any other election, I won't be doing that because I was just experiencing what it's like to campaign for a candidate. Since I had social media, I said, well, I got social media. Let me go campaign for a candidate. But typically, whoever I'm going to vote for, I will keep it to myself. And so that this past election with Trump and Harris was something that's rare that I was doing strictly to campaign. That wasn't personal. That was business. That was me getting some experience campaigning for a candidate. Some people get that mixed up and they thought it was some personal, me personally. No, I was really campaigning a lot. Nobody does that personally like that. But typically, I won't talk about who I'm going to vote for. I might after the fact of the matter, but I keep my choice of candidate to myself. It really doesn't matter. And one thing I don't do Democrat, Republican. I don't buy into that concept because when a person gets up there and speak, I have to listen to what they say. I can't just say, "Oh, you're a Democrat and vote for you," or "You're a Republican and vote for you." I can't just do that. We got the beautiful Alexis in the building from Indianapolis. That her children gonna be mad at Big Pharaoh if I don't send her something. Send them something. Tell them I forgot them, Alexis. Alexis, would you please DM me every now and then and tell me don't forget them children? Because I'll be making children promises and then I'll be them forgot. And y'all know how children is. They don't forget. We forget. We tell them, Mommy gonna take you, and then we forget. But they be They don't forget. So, I got to send them children something because if I told them I'm going to send them something, they waiting on it. Y'all, it's tripped out with dealing with children. Boy, they be on that. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I got to send Alexis children something. They doing good. They listening to their mama. No, they don't, Goshen. No, no, they be looking for it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, boy. I had one of my parents' older friend. He promised me some little racing cars for my racing contest. And every time he came by, I was looking at him like, where's my racing cars? Finally, I said something to him and he went on ahead and got them. But I know he had forgot. He wasn't standing on it like I was, you know. And to the mods, you'll be getting paid again soon. Well, now that I'm back monetized, I pay my mods over here. So let me see how much they're going to pay me every month. And then I'm going to, how we do. So my mods, you'll be getting some money when I get paid. Once I get the money up, because, it takes you a little while to get the money up. So once I get the money up, maybe in another month or two, I'm going to start back paying my mods. Isn't that great? I think I'm the only one that pay my mods. I got to get some more mods too. So I'm getting ready to make some of you all mods, but it's very hard to find you all. We'll talk about that later. When you go to YouTube, it's so hard to find people. It's crazy. My good brother Goshen is in the building. Shalom, shalom. Positive brother all the time. Been supporting me a long time. Cincinnati, Ohio is in the building. They're doing really well. I'm really proud of them. I got internet nieces and nephews, y'all, because they be watching me while their parents be watching me. And I be talking crazy. And kids like when you be talking crazy, they think it's funny when they see adults. Oh yeah. Yeah, I gotta find you. Send me your YouTube link straight to your account. Send it, DM it to me on Instagram. Okay? So I can find it because they got to make that easier. It's hard to find anybody. So yeah, send me the link so I can. You can contact me. You could DM me on Instagram at Pharaoh said that, or it's an email in the description. You can email me. The email's in the description. So yeah, so this I got to get this clear. So we're gonna talk about Trump, but I don't do the political hack stuff. Okay, so it's not a Democrat versus Republican. I don't do all that. Okay, I don't do all that. I was just campaigning. Other than that, nobody would have really knew I was voting for Harris. I would have just voted. I might have mentioned it, but I wouldn't have been pushing it. I was campaigning, which got lost because I said, let me campaign and show my subscribers what it's like to campaign. Well, they so emotional into the election, all they knew is I was campaigning for Harris. So they missed what the point I was trying to make on the livocation, because we don't say dedication because we don't be dead. So I was trying to show them the livocation, how much it takes how much time it takes, how much you have to put into campaigning. So the people that campaign for these politicians don't get enough respect. That's a lot of work to go and give out flyers, to send out emails, to post for somebody running for office is a lot of work. Well, a lot of people didn't get that part. They thought I was just trolling for Harris, but it is what it is. Sometimes you miss the mark and people don't get the point what you're trying to make. But my point is, that's who I voted for. There's no shame in that. And there shouldn't be no shame for who you voted for. And so when you all criticize somebody for their vote, you basically are promoting a dictatorship or some type of weird type of government. Regardless who you voted for and who they voted for, you don't criticize anybody for their vote. That's ridiculous. You vote for who you vote for, they vote for who they vote for, and that's the end of it. We're adults. It's not for you to criticize another adult for their decisions. You're going too far. And a lot of people be going too far trying to tell somebody else who they should have voted for. You're going too far. Vote for who you vote for. They vote for who they vote for. And that's the end of it. So once the election was over, I was done with it. I was not on no anti-Trump situation. Before the election, I was talking about Trump as a content creator, what he was doing and how he was aggravating other politicians. I wasn't talking about it in terms of Republican versus Democrat. I was talking about Trump's behavior, which I've always found to be unprofessional and un-American. I've always thought that about the way he behaved, especially after January 6th. I didn't have any more respect for him as a president. To me, he's the worst president in U.S. history and a total disgrace and should have been in prison. He should have been in prison. But that had nothing to do with any Democrat, Republican. That didn't have nothing to do with that. That had nothing to do with any of that. And so even this conversation today has nothing to do with Democrat, Republican, and all that. I don't do all that. Me, I respect the elections the way they go. It's just like sports. You going for the Lakers, you going for the Celtics. If the Lakers win, that's the end of it. Lakers won. You're not going to be crying over it. Going to congratulate the winner, and you're going to move on. And so once he won as president, that was it. He's the president. It is what it is. Now, I couldn't foresee him getting worse and worse and worse. But I do feel like as Americans, we made two big mistakes. The first mistake was Biden, and the second mistake was Trump. They're too old, and there's going to have to be a conversation on age limits. We cannot have no presidents over 74 years old, period. Period, period, point blank, period. We can't have, and then we should not be having no old presidents unless they qualify. We need young people with new young ideas to be presidents, to be mayors, to be governors. Young people. And for president, I mean young, like in their 50s, in their early 60s. If they're really good, they can run at 70. I'm 67. I'll be a great president in 3 years. Period. I can do the job. I can do the job. I'll be a great president. There's nothing wrong with them being 70 because they're seasoned. Because learning is something never stops. And do you know how much more you learn between 50 and 60? You learn a lot. You know how much you learn between 60 and 70? You never stop increasing with your knowledge. So I would say 70 is the most seasoned, okay? But they gotta be out of there by the time they like 77. In other words, they can't run again after they're 74 years old. So if you run at 74 years old, you're going to be out of there at 78. Cool. But you cannot run anytime after 74. Can't do it. Because you got to be out of there by 78. You got to be on your way out. If you wanted to, you could lower that to 76. And you could say you can't run after 72. 72 would be fine too. 72 is the last year you could run. Got to be out of there by 76. I could see me, when I start getting around 76, 77, 78, I don't think I would be no good president, no damn 78 years old. I'm 67. 10 years from now, you understand? So I never was a political hack. I want to get that straight. So this is not me saying anything about Trump just because I wanted Harris to win. I don't do that. Harris was sabotaged by Biden. Biden intentionally stayed in there a long time to help Trump win. Biden was a Trump supporter. Okay? 100%. And he sabotaged that woman. But that's neither here nor there. But that's just knowledge, because I like to give my people knowledge. But I'm not a political hack. I'm just giving you the knowledge. This is just what happened. That he signaled to America to vote for Trump. Never in the history of a presidential election has a president ever put on the opposition's hat or anything like that. Okay? So he stayed in there until it was too late for her to get her wheels up under. Cool. He becomes president. But it was always questionable if because he should have been in prison. Trump should have been arrested on January 7th for treason. This was treason. He sent out bird signals to send those people out there. Everybody heard him. And he sat back and he wanted them to go out there and do this. And he should have been arrested. Okay? He should have been arrested for treason. Right off the top. He should have been arrested for treason. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No doubt about it. No doubt. So he never has really was qualified to be the president. He should have been arrested. Everything he's doing now, they should have been seen it. But what happens is when you close your eyes to certain behavior, it get worse. So guess what? He didn't say it now. I'm not going to even repeat it because I don't know what YouTube got to say about me repeating what you're reading. Show me where you've seen a U.S. president say something this foul in the history of this country. This is what he said last night. The President of the United States. To let him go any further is the destruction of the U.S. I'm not worried about it because they're going to destroy their own country. Because definitely, if they don't get him out of there, he definitely has mental issues. Okay, he has mental issues. Okay, because if he didn't have mental issues, he wouldn't say this. He wouldn't blurt this out. He has mental issues. Okay, that's what's going on. Biden had mental issues, but Biden had the type of mental issues where he'll sleep a lot, he forget where he at like that. Trump had mental issues too, but he's got mental issues where he's blurting out stuff, where his anger and stuff, he don't know how to hide it. So things that he would never say, now because he can't control his mental issues, he's blurting out things that he might have just said in back rooms or had in his mind. And he's also adapting ideologies because, like I keep telling you, you constantly learn, you constantly change. So at an older age, he's taking things into his mind that ain't really healthy. This is 100% unacceptable for a president to say this. This is if I said this and people reacted, I'd be under the prison. If I said something that caused people to go out and harm people, I'll be under the prison. If I came on YouTube and said anything like that, they ban my account. Now, how can you get banned on YouTube for saying that and be the president of the United States? American citizens, we can't behave like that. And everybody knows it. All of his support, many of his supporters are appalled. His rating is down in the low 30s. Okay? Because there's people that voted for him. And that's why I said don't hate on Trump supporters, because it ain't no way in the world they knew he was going to do all this. So it wouldn't be fair for me to come to you because you voted for him, say, well, you voted for him. That ain't fair for me to say to you. That is not fair. Because it ain't no way you knew. It ain't no way. There's no way you knew he was, you know what I'm saying? There's no way. They in Washington right now scratching their heads. Republican supporters, senators and congressmen and governors is saying, what the helly? Trust me. Behind closed doors, they trying to figure out what we gonna do. We gotta do something. We got to do something. He's destroying the Republican Party. He's destroying the Republican Party for the next election. You're the president of the United States of America, and you acting like you the Shah of Iran. Now, come on now. Come on now. Come on. Now, at this point, you cannot blame him when you see he crazy, right? right? You can't blame him when you see he crazy. When your grandma look at you and don't recognize you, you can't blame grandma because grandma don't recognize you and grandma blurting out stuff. So you can't, at this point, you can't blame him. He obviously then lost his man. We blame people that got all they says. So it's I wouldn't even arrest him for this. He too old and don't know what he doing. He just got to go sit down somewhere. It'd be like, bro, you talking crazy. Go sit down. I don't think it's criminal because I don't believe he know what he's saying. Facts. There ain't no way he know what he's saying. There's no way he know what he's saying. It's impossible. I can't believe that he know what he's saying. There's no way no sane Donald Trump would ever say this. Okay? He done lost his mind. Now impeach him, kick him out of office, but I wouldn't arrest him. He got to go though. Come on, he's got to go. He's got to go. The country is failing. The tariffs was a flop. Everything he doing, it don't work. He never was no good. Racism made him look good because everything that they gave him credit for came from the Obama administration. And the way these politicians be doing is they be stealing from the politician before them. Because when you're a politician, you get in office. You've got this stuff from the last administration. So you go to try to change stuff from the last administration. A lot of times that's why you win twice like Obama, because everybody like what you change. But it takes a little while to get the ball rolling when you change it. So by the time you do your 8 years and you get an office, the ball is still rolling. So now the next guy can come in there and now everything's looking great and he takes the credit for it. But the credit is always the president before them. If there's great changes early in their presidency, they have nothing to do with it. There's no way there's going to be great changes in the first 2 years of your presidency. If there's great changes in the first 2 years of your presidency, that's from the last president. So Trump got in there and took advantage of all the great things Obama had did for the economy, and it made it look like he did it. Right? But then, now that he ran again, and we had somebody else who didn't know where they was at, now we done got 2 presidencies where they don't know what they doing. So now the economy is crashing because they've been had 2 senile people in there back to back. Back to back. Then ran away the European Union. They don't want to deal with us no more. The Chinese done stole all our business moves. Everything we cut them off, they just went and did business with somebody else. Trump had stupid tariffs. The Chinese just went and started buying beef from Australia. They start going to Venezuela and South America getting stuff. That's the real reason America's down there. America lost because people looking at America like you ain't nobody. And Trump didn't run the country like you another country in a group of countries. He tried to be the big bad wolf, but America is only 4.5% of the population. You're not big enough to run nothing. That whole America's the big, no. Nobody needs America. They got manufacturing everything. China's not back in the Mao Zedong days no more. China's an advanced country now. They don't know, nobody needs America no more. Japan don't need America. China don't need America. Europe don't need America. They can all shop somewhere else. Russia don't need America. They can shop with each other. America been importing so much stuff that they ain't got no power. You ain't got no power if you're not exporting, if you importing. So he done ran everybody away. Business is down. The tariffs flop. Everything costs an arm and a leg. The stores are empty. The stores got bootleg stuff in there. I was just talking to a friend that lives in a nice place, and they said that the office sent everybody a notice saying you only got to pay half your rent and you can pay the other half 2 weeks later. I said, what? It was like, yeah, I got a notice that I don't have to pay all the rent on the first. I could pay half and pay the other half on the 15th, around there. I said, that's because can't nobody afford to pay their rent. Ain't no buildings telling you that. That means those buildings are losing money. People is moving out. People can't afford to pay their rent. People ain't making enough money to pay their rent on the first. It ain't no building in America ever did that. And I've been living on my own since I was 18. And like I told them, that's a sign that the money's tight. And it's getting to the point where they losing all their tenants and ain't nobody moving back in because can't nobody afford it. So they trying to cut a deal to keep people in them buildings. Yeah, they got to cut a deal to keep people in the building. When y'all ever heard anybody send out notices on their own telling you don't got to pay all the rent on the first? I ain't never heard that. Anybody ever heard that? I ain't never heard that in my life. They be acting crazy if you don't pay by the third, sometime by the fifth. I ain't never heard that. I told them that's a sign the economy crashing. They either got to cut a deal or the building going to be empty. The building's going to be empty. The building's going to be empty. They got to try to figure out how not to lose tenants. They probably going to chop they probably going to chop the rent. They're going to chop the rent next year. Watch, you're going to start hearing about rent, landlords lowering their rent by $200, $300. Watch, they're going to have to. They're going to have to because these buildings is empty. These buildings are empty. And now it's coming out that Trump is a failed businessman. He had 13, 14 businesses. They all failed. You know what I'm saying? And everybody playing too much politics. Yeah, Robert. They finna be giving cars away. They have these big old lots. And all the cars, when they come off the assembly line stuff, they go to these big lots. I don't know, I forgot what you call them. And the car dealers go get them from them lots. The car dealers don't get it straight from Chevy or straight from Toyota or whatever. They go to these big lots. I will be watching this white dude, he be out there at them lots. Them lots is full. Those lots are full. Those lots are full. And you can always tell what's going on just by checking your friends and relatives. All my friends and relatives is holding on to their cars. They is not getting new cars. They babying and repainting and putting new tires and new everything in the car they got. And everybody that got a new car didn't buy it, they leasing it. They ain't buy it, they lease it. Everybody I know that you see stunting in a new car did not buy it. They leasing them. They not buying no cars. They don't want to own it, they leasing it. So when you see dude, he got a new truck every 2 years, that's because he ain't buying nothing. Leasing is through the roof. Buying, nobody buying nothing. Ain't nobody buying no new cars. Nobody. When I say nobody, I mean nobody. You don't see nobody with them new car tags on their car in Chicago. Nobody. The stores is closing. The shopping malls is deserts. All the big designer stores is deserts. And the only thing that's popping is smash and grab, smash and grab, smash and grab. Well, last week they ramped a car into the Louis store, one of them stores. They stealing cars, ramming them in the stores, going there, grabbing whatever and running. Oh, Birkin bag, they taking them. Louis bag, they taking. They go in there, take a 20, 30 Louis bag. What you want? You want $5,000 for a Louis bag? Dude got them on the block for $1,500. Trump was supposed to be the real estate guy, but what they didn't understand is the economy was crashing anyway. The economy was crashing anyway. So the economy was crashing. There wasn't nowhere. There ain't no way to reverse this economy. Do I think President Trump will win the 2028 election? President Trump is going to be put out of office. He's not going to be in office. Trump's not going to be in office. Trump's not going to be in office. He got 3 more years to go. He can't make it 3 more years. Talking like this, he's not going to make it 3 more years. The man, first off, Trump is totally unhealthy. So Trump is not even, according to doctors, Trump is not going to even be alive in 7 or 8 months. A lot of experts, medical people saying Trump not going to live another year. He's got everything wrong with him. So Trump is definitely not going to win no 2028 election with his health. His health is gone. That's one reason he's talking crazy, his health. Trump is sick. That's why they got him sitting behind a desk so you can't see his ankles all swole up. He can hide his hands. You can't see all of the medical problems he got. He can't stand up long. Trump is sick. He knows he's not. He knows he's not running in 2028. That's just talk. The Republican Party is panicking because they don't believe J.D. Vance is ready. But Trump, 2028, no, Trump ain't gonna make it too much longer. It's a wrap. They was able to hide Biden stuff because Biden would just be like, but Trump talk a lot. So Trump, they got to get him out of there. He be blurting out. You can't, once you start blurting out stuff like this, you got to go. And Trump would be an embarrassment. He's gonna be blurting out. Imagine how crazy he's gonna be talking the next 3 or 4 months if they don't sit him down. He can't stay up there. Anybody believe that Trump can make it another 3 years is tripping. Up all night tweeting. 3 a.m., 4 a.m. That's because he's sick. He's not doing well. He's not doing well. So he's up all night tweeting. They got to get him out of there. He's becoming an embarrassment. Yeah, you got to get him out of there. He's out of there. Yeah, he's done. He's absolutely done. Yeah, he's done. They're trying to figure out now what to do. They're trying to figure out what to do. Y'all seen the other day, he was right there in front of everybody. Y'all ain't see that? Y'all didn't see him last week? Right in the middle of a big news conference? Look how everybody trying to play it off. Yeah, you gotta go. Yeah, he's done. He's done. At this point, it's elder abuse. I said the same thing with Biden. This is elder abuse. You know what I'm saying? This is elder abuse. You know what I'm saying? He's been up all night on his social media, and he's tired, and he's old. He's almost 80 years old. Right? They came out and said the reason he falling asleep in the mornings is because he gets only 4 hours sleep. He up working hard. He gets 4 hours of sleep, clientele, because older people don't sleep well. So older people, for the young people watch me, older people don't sleep well. So older people sleep in the daytime, right? Older people sleep in the day. So like I'm 67, so I be getting tired in the day now, especially with me exercising, working out. So older people, they go to sleep about 3 in the evening. Older people go to sleep about 3, 4 in the evening, then they wake up. Then they wake up and they be up at night. Then they go to sleep. They go to sleep late. So older people fall asleep about 4 in the morning, and then they all wake up around 10:30. So if you go to an old folks facility, rush hour is at 10 o'clock, 10, 11, 12 o'clock is rush hour. That's when they all wake up. Real talk, ask somebody. If you go to an old folks home or one of these senior buildings, rush hour is at 10, 10:30. That's when they all wake up. But at like 3 in the morning, they watching TV or listening to music or reading or something or just up, wandering around in their apartments. Real talk. They sleep early in the day and they sleep real early in the morning because he's the president. He don't get enough sleep because they got to wake him up. Yeah, old people go to sleep don't fall asleep till like 4, 5 in the morning. They sleep from like 4 in the morning to like 10 in the morning. Real talk. Real talk. I'm telling you facts. Real talk. Old people do not be sleep in the middle of the night because they been already fell asleep. They can't stay up all day, right? So old people can't stay up all day. So by the time you get about 3 in the evening, 4 in the evening, they tired. So then they go to sleep. And they've been walking around, they wore out like they've been exercising. So when they go to sleep at 4, when they wake up, it's dark. Now they not sleepy. But they can't stay up long. So when they wake up about 2:33 in the morning, they can only stay up till about 7. By the time the sun come up 7, 8, they back sleep. And then they get up around 10:30, 11, and that's rush hour. For seniors. Seniors rush hour is 11 o'clock a.m. Ask anybody. 11 a.m. is rush hour for seniors. And that's when they try to get the most done, but they're going to run out of steam. 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. That's a lot for a 70, 80-year-old. And then, boom, they got to go to sleep. That's an absolute fact. They got to take a nap. But when they take a nap turns into full sleep. It don't be like a young person nap. So when you get like my age, 67, 68, 69, 70, when you take a nap, it might be a nap and it might not. Last year, the year before, when I took a nap, it was 2 or 3 hours. If I take a nap now, it might not be no nap. In some cases, I might not get back up till the next day. That's a fact. I'm telling you the facts. I tell it all. I put it all out on the table. You sleep different. As you age, you sleep different. My whole schedule messed up because I'm trying to build abs and work out too and eat more too. Man, my sleeping is all messed up. Now, because I'm plant-based, I don't have to eat like that, and I can stay up longer than the average older person. But if I'm exercising and eating a lot, ain't no telling when I'm going to wake up, and ain't no telling when I'm going to get sleepy. That's a fact. And I'm 67, so imagine 72, 73. Them people, oh, they tired. They ain't young no more. So Trump and Biden, they got them doing something that elders can't do. Elders can't do that job. They can't get up early like that. If you got a president that age, he shouldn't be speaking to the public until about noon. You can't have no president that age speaking to the public at 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning. If you don't want to get old, that means you're going to pass away. So you said you thinking you finna pass away. It ain't nothing wrong with getting old. It is what it is. Take care of yourself and enjoy your life, no matter what your age is. But never wish not to get old, because there's only one way not to get old. So what you saying, Lone Ranger, make you not wake up tomorrow. You basically said you starting to think you don't want to wake up tomorrow. That's what you said. I hope you understand what you said. Don't ever say this. He just cursed himself. He said he don't want to wake up tomorrow. That's what he said. I don't know if you understand what he said. Don't say nothing like that. Y'all don't ever say nothing like that. Don't ever say nothing like that. Because that man just said he's starting to think he don't want to wake up tomorrow. Because when you say you don't want to get old, you ain't picking a date. So when you want to end it all, see what I'm saying? He ain't clear. Okay, well, if you don't want to get old, you can check out now. Then see that ain't cool. Listen, what the hell you want to get up for if you 70? Anyway, if you lived all that life, you ain't missing nothing. So that's a mischaracterization what he telling y'all. If you lived your life and you've been going to the beach and you've been having sex and you've been living your life, you ain't missing nothing when you get 70 and you slow down. You didn't did all that. Why would you expect to keep want to do what you didn't already did? You ain't missing nothing. What I'm missing? I'm 67. I didn't ran around in Hawaii. I didn't did all that. Who want to do that at my age? Why do I want to do 30-year-old stuff at 67? I don't want to do no 30-year-old stuff. I don't care nothing about that stuff. That stuff is over. I've been there, done that. Been there, done that. So now you're not missing nothing when you get older because you can't do a bunch of stuff you should have did already. You're supposed to did that already. I'm just saying. So you ain't supposed to be older and wishing for a younger life. That don't even make much sense. That means you ain't do what you were supposed to do when you was younger. Basically. What you missing? What is there out there I'm gonna be missing? What, riding my bike? Which age I want to go back to? 5, 6? When I had my bike, I rode my bike to the fullest. When I played baseball, I played to the fullest. When I went to parties, I went to parties to the fullest. When I was dealing with women, I deal with women to the fullest. When it was time to have babies, I had 6. Did all that, done all that. Why would I want to? Why would I want to go back and miss that? That's done. I'm not missing nothing. What I'm missing? How you gonna miss what you already did? There's nothing wrong with seeing your grandchildren and great grandchildren. That's a beautiful thing. You're supposed to be been a child, then you're supposed to have babies, then you're supposed to see grandbabies, and then you're supposed to see great grandbabies. That's the order of things. It get to the point you're supposed to enjoy your grandchildren, your children, then your grandchildren, then their children. You ain't supposed to be trying to do. I ain't supposed to be upset that I'm not doing what my children is doing. Like I got grown children in their 30s, early 40s, all the way down to their early 30s. Why would I want to do what they doing? All I'm saying is, why would I want to do what my 3 sons is doing? I don't make my sons. Well, I want to do that for. That's why I had them, for them to go out there and do that. But when it comes to being a politician and stuff, and you got the life of the people in your hands, you need to be at your best. Now I could do the job, but at a certain age, they need to change the requirements of the job. You can still be a good president, but they just got to change it up. And if you elect a president that's 65 and older, move the press conferences back. Have the press conferences later. He could still do the same job. He just gonna move the time period back. Just like if you work at a factory. Some people work the night shift, right? Then some people work from 7 in the morning, that shift. Then some people work 3 to 11. President could be the same way. If you got an older president, just move the time slot back. They still gonna get a lot of work done. Because a lot of people they got to contact overseas on a different time anyway. So all you got to do for an older president is just move everything back. They could do a good job from 60s on up to the 70s. They could do a good job. Just move their time slot back. Don't be having them early press conferences. Have the press conference around 11, 12. Period. And teach. That's how you could teach the public. These are older presidents, their press conferences are moving back. If you're a president in your 50s and early 60s, you can have your press conference earlier. It's not a big deal. Somebody my age could still get a lot done, but we're going to get it done later. And we're going to get more done than when we was younger. So I can get more done, okay? I can get more done than the younger me because we don't sleep. Our sleep broke up. So you get a president my age, once they get up, they're going to knock a bunch of stuff out. And sometimes they might not sleep until the next day. Yeah. They can get a lot of work done. But then you got to give them that break the next day and let them get their rest. But why should they have to get up and do a president stuff the next day when they done already did everything need to be done? All you want is the president to get things done. You don't care when it get done. So if I do the day stuff and tomorrow stuff, why I gotta show up tomorrow? I already knocked all that out. I woke up at 10. Boy, I knocked out everything. Then, boy, tonight I talked to dude in Japan. I talked to dude in Russia. I talked to everybody longer than I would have if I was younger. Because one thing about in your 60s, you could stay up way longer than ever before. Especially if you eat lighter. Older people eat lighter, so they're not full like that. So they're not going to sleep like that. They ain't got all that food in their stomach to digest. So you can still make it work out. But when you start having mental problems and you start saying stuff like this, you got to go. You got to go. You can't be calling for people in the public to be unalive like you to Shah, Iran, or like we in. Where we at? What country we in? Are we in North Korea? This is unacceptable. He got to sit down. This is unacceptable. Now, if I got on YouTube and said something like that, and then somebody went and did what I said, they would blame me for people doing that. Why he not going to get blamed if some crazy person see this and go out there and start doing stuff? He don't know where we at. That's the problem. He don't know what's going on. An hour later, he ain't even on this no more. An hour later, he's a whole different dude. Yep. An hour later, he's talking about something else. He got to go. But this is dangerous because fanatics act on this. Fanatics act on this. He done lost his man. He got to go. He got to go. Yeah, he got to go. Because anybody else said this will be arrested. But with his age, they might give him a break. But you can't say this. You can't be no president of the United States. You can't be no senator, no congressman, no governor, no mayor. You cannot make these type of statements. These type of statements mean it's over for you. You got to go. And you just met with a terrorist. You just met with a terrorist that's an enemy of the United States, and now you talking like one. You got to go. Because the dude he met with was responsible for how many Americans being unalive. That dude should have never been allowed in the White House. He didn't let that man in the White House taking money from that man, and that man was the enemy of the state. Know what I'm saying? Yeah, you'll be arrested immediately. If you said that, you getting arrested immediately. And you're the president of the United States, that's grounds for impeachment. That's grounds for impeachment. He got to go. That's grounds for impeachment. And any politician that support him, they got to go too. They're unfit. If you're a politician and you don't think you should be impeached for that, that means you can't do your job. You're not a good politician. You got to go. You don't want to uphold the laws of the United States. You got to go too. Yeah, you got to go. Everybody that support that, got to go. Yeah, you got to go. It's clear. You got to go. Who agrees with him? Everybody put his hand. Who don't have no problem with it? Put your hand up. Arrest all of them. Escort them out of this Congress and this Senate. Escort them out. Escort them out. You got to go. You're not fit to be a congressman or senator or nothing. You're not fit to be nothing if you support this type of nonsense right here. He's a professional line crosser. You didn't cross the line. Especially when you're the same person responsible for this. You're the same person responsible for all of this, you got to go. If you're responsible for this and you turn around and you say this, you got to go. He shouldn't have never got a break for this. He should have been charged for treason then. Okay, he should have been charged for treason and arrested right here. He should have been charged for trying to overthrow the United States government. He should have been charged. He should have been charged. And then he went and he let all them people out of prison. He let all them people out. Pardoned all of them people that ran into the Capitol building and disgraced the country. He pardoned them. His press secretary should be arrested and put out office. They would all be considered insurrectionists and they would all be considered terrorists. Everybody that support that, they would be considered a terrorist organization. That's what they would be considered. They would be considered terrorists. Not only are they inciting people to do that, they're inciting Americans to say, we'll do you like that. Think about it. If you go out there and tell them people to do something to me, what you think I'm going to say? I'm going to say, do something to you. This is not good. Because nobody going to just lay down and let you do none of that. The Republicans talking, running out the side of their mouth. They don't understand you don't run nothing. That goes both ways. This why you got to go. Yeah, that's treason. That's 100% treason. If you're the president of the United States and you call for this on your citizens, that is treason. If you support this, that is treason. And everyone that support this would be considered a dissident and an enemy of the United States and would be arrested. The fact that's even questionable just shows you how little they've taught Americans about their government. Americans don't even know about their own government. You can't say that. That is illegal. That is illegal. That is illegal for a senator. Now imagine if you're the commander in chief and you calling for something that the citizens can't say, and you the president, and you say that, and you the president, and you're supposed to set an example, and that's the example you set? With all these lunatics we got out here, and you say something like that? So if somebody run up in the mall now, he not to blame? He's not to blame if somebody followed through with this. We've already seen people follow through with the stuff he's saying. It's lunatics that will take him up on this. You can't say stuff like this. You can't say stuff like that when we got people that got mental issues and stuff like that. And you know you got people that worship you and look up to you, gonna do anything you said. Why would you say that? How you represent the law and the president of the United States? And you're over here talking like we in China or somewhere. Like we in North Korea. This is some North Korea stuff. That man got to go. If he don't go, you're looking at the fall of America. America gonna fall. If they let that go, their country gone. The country gone. Once you start chipping away at your own rules, it's a wrap. Once you start chipping away at your own rules and your own laws and your own way you govern, it's a wrap. You're gone. It's over. How could you, what can he say to the public? If the public start talking like this, what can he say? What can he tell me if I start talking like this? If I start saying anybody don't agree with me, they got to be unalive. What can he tell me? That's what you, the president, you said it. That's crazy. We was taught let the police handle, let law enforcement handle it. No, he's saying people go do this. He's still totally going against law enforcement. He's saying break the law. No court, no American process, just some third world dictator type stuff. Saying it, come on, man. And the reality is, he ain't even really saying that. He crazy. So it's not like he really no young dictator. The man that lost his mind. He not no dictator. He crazy. A dictator keeps saying that every day. 2 hours later, he gonna say something else. Get him out of there. That's the whole thing. He not even like that. This just a blurt. He just blurting out stuff. That's what's crazy about it. He just blurting stuff out. He ain't like that. He ain't about that life like that. He's not that. That's why he gotta go. Because 2 hours later, he's saying something else. He gotta go. He done lost his mind. He done lost his mind. He said illegal stuff before, but he ain't never crossed this line. He ain't never crossed this line right here. Is gonna be a problem. Remember, I told it first. I come to y'all first before it really, because this just happened. So all hell gonna break loose today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, you'll see the results for this. This is going to be a big, big, big problem. I'm just bringing it to y'all early because it just happened yesterday. This is a problem. This is this is going to be a huge problem. But my subscribers, I bring y'all information that other people don't bring you because everybody else just do the gossip and the basic stuff. And I try to bring y'all stuff before so you can see the whole process. That's a big problem. Hey, Goshen, they have no idea how big of a problem that is. Do you know about freedom of speech? You don't know nothing about freedom of speech, Antoine. You got to go study. You got to go study. You can't just blurt out stuff if you don't understand. You got to go study, bro. But for the rest of y'all, look, freedom of speech is not absolute and has several limits, such as incitement to violence, defamation, obscenity, true threats, child pornography, and fraud. Other categories of speech with lesser or no protection include speech that violates intellectual property laws, and in some contexts, certain commercial speech and speech that causes a substantial disruption in schools. These limits are based on the principle that free speech can be restricted to prevent harm to others. Okay? You cannot run in a building and scream fire. You cannot do that. Now, you're supposed to know that. You're not supposed to question me on free speech if you don't know what it is. Y'all got to study. Antoine, if you get out here and say the wrong thing, you going to prison. Feel me, bro? Bro, you going to prison. If you go in a building and you holler fire and people run and get trampled, ain't no fire, you going to prison. You going under the prison. Go out there and say you want to unalive the president and see what happened to you. You're going to prison. That's going to be considered a terroristic threat. Free speech has its limits. You can't say nothing like this. The president can't go and say unalive people and string people up. Like a president can't say nothing like that. And you the president of the United States and we got lunatics out here. It's just like in the gang culture. You know what I mean? It's just like in the gang culture. You know, if you were a high-ranking gang member, you got to watch what you say to the shorties. Because if you say the wrong thing to them shorties and they go out there and carry that out and they get arrested and they get to court and say, Pharaoh said this and that, oh, they arrested me. They're going to arrest me. They're going to arrest you. Look at when they pulled Janet Jackson's clothes off. She was done. Heck yeah, you can't be making no threats. Boy, I'm glad he brought that up. Listen, young people, you got to watch what you say out your mouth. Making threats, I get you 10, 20 years, 15 years in federal prison, depend on the threat. Man, if you're the president of the United States, you can't say this, Antoine. You can't say this. The president of the United States enforces the fact that the rest of us can't say this. So how could you be the commander in chief and doing stuff that's illegal for other Americans? You cannot go out here and say this as no American. I cannot go out here and say this what should happen to Republicans. I can't say that. I can't say that. He's supposed to go through due process. So if he feel like Democrats did something, he's supposed to go to court, Antoine. If it's illegal, they did something wrong, you got to go through the process. You can't just go tell the public and say this to the public. This is this no. You can't say that because we got crazy people that'll do that. Like it's people that'll want to do that. Now, what's going to happen if something happened to one of them Democrats or their family? You can't just say stuff. We call that a send-off. You sending people off. There's crazy people that'll go do that, and he know that already. That's why this dude got to go, because he done did that already before. He did that, and people lost their lives because he did the same thing on January 6th. He should have been arrested then, because that's what he did, the same thing he doing now. He did that then. Because when he told them to stop, they went back. And I already did this. When the men went to court, they said they was following the commander-in-chief's order. That's what them men said when them 7 men went to court. I covered all this live. And them 7 men said that they did all that crazy stuff because they was following Trump's orders. That's what they said, the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys said they was following Trump's orders. Yeah, they did. I just didn't want to post a picture because it's too inflammatory. I got the picture, but I felt like I didn't want to post it right now because this is already borderline, right? In other words, this is dangerous for content creators to talk about. Real talk, y'all. Content creators got to be careful. That's why you don't hear me repeat nothing that's written here. I just show what's written because this will get your account banned. Just repeating that stuff will get you banned. That stuff will get you banned. They're going to get rid of dude. They're going to get rid of him. If I had to bet, I bet he's out of here. If I had to bet, I would bet that's the last straw. We'll see. But if I had to bet, there's some serious discussions going on in Washington, D.C. right now with the FBI, the Secret Service. There's some serious backdoor discussions talk about him right now. There's some serious discussions. All his supporters is like, you ever supported somebody and then they just went and did something real stupid after you let everybody know you support them, and then you go back and say, man, what the hell he do that for? Because now he done messed you up. I'm trying to tell you, hey, I'm trying to tell you, man, this is crazy. This is about as crazy. This shows he got to go. Like, he got to go. Like, you can't say that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he gonna be held accountable, man. And then they gonna look at January 6th. They gonna look at January 6th. He made a big mistake. They gonna look at January 6th, man. That's what they gonna do. Now that he said that, they gonna look at January 6th. For real. I don't know. This is what happened. You know he ain't in his right mind. Because they gonna look at this now. This is, man, they're gonna be like, you did this before. You did this before. This is what happened. That's why I say he ain't in his right mind. Because anybody in their right mind that barely got away with January 6th and turn around and say this, you got to be out your mind. You got to be out your mind. You got to be out your mind to say that. Luckily that you wasn't arrested for treason. He was supposed to get arrested for treason for this. Now here you go again. It's some serious discussions going on. There's some serious discussions going on. You know what I'm saying? The man, he can't do the job no more. He got some mental issues. Ain't nobody, I can't hate on him and say he intentionally saying that. The man, do I think they will impeach him? It's a high possibility, yes. Yes, like that's gonna hit the news and everybody gonna be like, what the hell? Like, bro, you can't say that. Now you sound like a dictator. You represent everything America is against. Bro, you're talking like the Shah Iran or something. Americans gonna be like, what? America took pride on not functioning like this. A lot of Americans don't understand. This country took pride on not functioning like this. Man, listen. Dude done lost his mind. Dude done lost his mind. It ain't nobody that's thinking right. Ain't nobody thinking right gonna do this, man. The man lost his mind. It's really just that simple. He lost his mind. I'm telling you the facts. If you look at everything he done did, you'll say, yeah, he lost his mind. Because he not even putting two and two together or nothing. The news media going to go put all that together. He have to have lost his mind. Let me ask you something. Let me ask y'all something. If you met with somebody, right? If you just met with somebody, let me show you this picture. If you're the president of the United States and everybody's pissed at you because you just met with somebody that was considered a terrorist and that was behind unaliving Americans. And you turned around and say that. Because he just met with this guy, and this guy was one of America's top enemy terrorists. So they really said, why is you meeting with America's enemy? This man is a terrorist. Now he the president, now he your friend. So imagine meeting with somebody that they consider a top enemy of the United States and a terrorist from Syria. And then you turn around and say this. They're going to be like, dude, got to go. Because now you talking just like how this man would be talking. So this show you Trump ain't in his right mind. Because there ain't nobody would do that. Ain't nobody would meet with this dude, be done did this, and say this. Ain't nobody would ever do all that. He lost his man. If you got any sense, you already know. I can't meet with dude, no Syrian terrorist. I already just got by the skin of my teeth with this. I sure can't wake up and say this. All of this is because of this latest stuff is because of Epstein files. He mad and he ain't got all his mind. He going crazy because right now everybody looking at him as a creep. And you know, he got a lot of pride. So his name is all over the internet. Creep, Epstein, Trump, Epstein, Epstein, Trump. So he mad as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been watching. He is pissed. He is pissed over them Epstein file. His name is in there 5,000 times. No, it's probably like 2,000. His name is in there, man. That man is mad because they trashing him. They showing pictures with him with children and everything. Man, they is trashing him. Man, his name is Mud. His popularity went down. He ain't got nothing but 30% support. The lowest in any president's, the history of any president. You know what I'm saying? So he mad, he big mad. So he said, man, we need to unalive y'all. That man mad. He at night, he keeps seeing his pictures everywhere. I've been saving them. I got a whole folder of Trump Epstein stuff. You should see the pictures they got to do. All that's coming out. Man, he got a lot of pictures with a lot of little girls. And he mad. He big mad. He big mad. So he got real mad, woke up in the middle of the night and said this. And they like, bro, you got to go. You got to go. You got to go. You got to go. Ice Rock said he crashed, burned, got up, and crashed again. And, oh yeah, the man tripping, ain't he, bro? The man, it's kind of funny. It ain't funny, but it's kind of funny because he really crashing out like the Y is. He really crashing out. That man, big man, he crashed all the way out. Come on, man. This is the biggest crash out in presidential history. It's crazy. This is the biggest crash out I ever seen. I'm 67. I've seen all the presidents, you know what I'm saying? But here go the thing. The other presidents didn't have social media. He the social media president, and social media is messing a lot of people up. A lot of people getting divorced because of social media. A lot of people going to prison because of social media. A lot of people going broke because of social media. and this social media president, and listen, somebody needs to take his laptop and take his phone. Take dude's phone. They don't love that man. Because if I was working, I was his second in charge at night come, when he get ready to go to sleep, I'm President, the phone. Give us the phone. No, we'd take his phone, put him to bed. We would take his phone. Take dude's phone. Why they let that man have his phone all night? See, they don't love dude. They let him boss them around, and nobody ain't standing up to protect him, which is a whole nother video. That you need somebody strong in your corner when you ain't doing right. Somebody got to overpower you. Y'all know that man can't have his phone at night, especially after all the Epstein files came out. They say, Mr. President, the Epstein files just came out. Your name is all over them. We know how you get down. Give us your phone. Dude, give us your phone. Mr. President, give me the phone. Give me this phone. I would take his phone and put him to bed and tell Secret Service, don't let him have no phone. Let him sleep. Y'all know how he get down. They bogus. They should have took dude's phone. No, they going to give him that phone back tonight. As long as that Epstein file and all them pictures is him and they give him the phone, he finna crash all the way out. It's bad. Take dude phone. I swear to God. Man, they need to take dude's phone. You know what I'm saying? They need to take his phone and deal with mental illness. You know what I'm saying? They still trying to treat him like a normal person. That's the part I don't like. They supposed to give dude a pass. It's the government's fault that y'all got the senile man in there. Somebody get grandpa and sit him down. It get to the point where when we gonna blame the government for letting that man go out there like that? We all been through that. It all been to a point, like it was to a point that I'd call my sister and say, I gotta move in with dad. That's when I started going live. I gotta move in with dad. He tripping. I couldn't leave him in that house by himself. I couldn't let him go to the store, let him drive and all that. It get to a point you got to go and take over and be like, okay, dad, it's over with. It's a wrap. My daddy would just stand up and forget where he going and just stand there and fall. I couldn't let him do nothing. He didn't know what he was doing. Man, I had to gangster my daddy like I had to daddy my daddy. You know what that's like? Well, you got to tell your daddy, sit down. Because he going to fall and bust his head open. And he looking at you. He know you his son. He don't want to listen. You know what it's like? You got a daddy, your daddy, and your daddy know you ain't his daddy. And your daddy looking at you like, boy. I had to boss my daddy around and make him sit down. Boy, they hard-headed. Listen. Trump is hard-headed. Trust me when I'm telling you, you got to make him do right. They hard-headed. They doing it their way. They're not listening. Who is you? You know what I'm saying? I used to have to go off on my daddy to keep him alive all them years. Man, that was a lot of work. Yeah, he too old to be president. Yes, him and Biden is too old. Yes, he's too old to be president. Come on, man. Soon as you got a press conference and you like this, you got to go. You got to go. The next day you out of there. If you're doing a big press conference and you're almost 80 years old and you fall asleep right on TV, you got to go. Okay? Thank you for your service. But, bruh, you know what I'm saying? Bruh, you got to go. You got to go. Soon as you come off like this on a press conference, you got to go. You got to go. We've seen this movie before. We keep making the same mistake. We keep making the same mistake. Get these people out of here. When they get to moving like this, they got to go. Okay? You got to go. It's a wrap. Thank you for your service. You know what I'm saying? Okay, somebody get grandpa. He can't be president no more. Grandpa, it's a wrap. You can't be president no more. Okay? You did a good job, but it's a wrap. Okay? It's over with. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it real. They did this twice in a row. Twice in a row, they had people in there that should have been retired. Twice in a row. How do you do this twice? Come on, man. How you do this twice? I remember Biden falling going up the airplane, then Trump fell going up the airplane. This the dude calling somebody Sleepy Joe. He called somebody Sleepy Joe. How you gonna call somebody Sleepy Joe? And now you Sleepy Donald. Like, keep it real. He called that man Sleepy Joe. And then get up there and nod in front of everybody. She fell asleep on the freeway. Yeah, hell yeah. Listen, man, when you get older, like I'm 67, right? So, like all my life when I drive, like say I'm in a parking space like this, I got to back out. Boom, I jump in the car, turn the car, look back out. Now, when I get in the car and I start to back out, I got to look twice, 2 or 3 times before I back out. You know why? Because after driving since I'm 16, do the math, 16, 26, 36, 46, 56, 66. After I've been driving 50 years, you start driving on automatic pilot if you don't be careful. So now you've been driving so long and you older, you're liable to get in the car and start it and just back up and run over somebody because you've been driving too long. I got proof. You ever got up and drove to work and didn't really realize nothing till you got to work and didn't pay no attention the whole time you drove because you've been driving this route so much that you end up on autopilot and you just look up and you at work and you realize you ain't really paid a whole lot of attention. You automatically stay in the traffic. You automatically stop when people cross the street. You drove right, but you didn't pay no attention. You did all that on auto. Y'all ever get to that point? Yeah, where you keep going somewhere and one day you get there and you realize, I just got here. I just got here on autopilot. But you young, so you still doing it right now. Imagine autopilot at 60. Now autopilot at 60, you start doing less of the steps. When you was 30, you did autopilot. You still look back before you backed up. You did everything, but you get older, you start leaving steps out. So now you put the car in gear and just back up. You done left a step out. You hear something, boom, 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 you done ran over somebody. Or you get in the car, boom, you hit the gas. You got it in drive instead of reverse. And now you done drove through the barrier because you're supposed to be backing out. You put the car in the wrong gear. Look how many old people drive all up in stores, drive out of parking lots, crash through the barrier, hanging off the doggone parking lot because you get too old. And you're doing the same thing over and over again. And now you become like a robot. And so if you ain't got a strong psychological mind and tell yourself, okay, I'm old now, I'm like a robot. Don't be like a robot. And if you ain't got the ability like me to really talk to yourself, you ain't going to be able to do it. So everything I do now, it takes longer because I'm not really sure. And I want to make sure I'm not on autopilot. So I take more time. I just don't back out because I've been driving too long. And I'm used to jumping in, looking and backing out. I'm like, I can't do that no more. I got to really make sure that I'm not moving on autopilot. So I got to work harder to actually be driving and not just doing it because I've been doing it. So it take me long, especially backing up. I be nervous because I might just back up. On the fact, if I pull up in the parking lot of Whole Foods, I come out, put my groceries, get in the car, I don't just back up like I used to. I got to take a little more time because I know I've been driving too much. I might mess around and just back out because I'm doing it too much. I might leave a process out. So I go out my way to make sure I follow all the processes. And I back out real slow just in case I still messed a step. So at least I'm going so slow that if you do walk behind me, I won't run over you. I might just bump you. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. Yeah, like I'm 15, like I'm 25, like I'm 35. I ain't driving like that no more. I'm taking into account that I've been doing it too long. And then if you've been eating all kind of abominations and stuff, man, you can't eat no bunch of McDonald's and stuff and be almost 80 and be no president, man. You can't eat like these dudes ate. These dudes ate trash. Their bodies is shot. You understand? So one of the biggest problems when you get older is you've been doing stuff too long. And when you've been doing stuff too long, that's not good. You be moving on autopilot. Even if you ain't got brain fault, you just been doing it too much. And if you do something a long time, you'll stop thinking. You understand? Even if you're sharp, you'll still stop thinking because you've been doing it too long. That's the biggest problem. The biggest problem is you've been doing it too long. So that's why you got to start being in the habit of checking for your keys. So you got to make that repetition because you'll mess around and walk out your house and close the door and ain't got your damn keys because you're moving too quick. So you have to start establishing new repetitive habits. So I got new repetitive habits. Check my keys. I'll be having 2 sets of keys. I have a set of keys in one pocket and the same set in the other pocket. That way, if I leave a set, I know I got a set. Before I leave, I always check. Do I got my keys? I'm creating a whole new way of functioning to make up for my age. Because I'm moving on autopilot. I move on autopilot. Move, let's go. Boom, I done went out, ain't even got my keys on my phone. Because I'm so used to just going. So you start missing steps. It ain't that you don't know what's going on. You're moving on autopilot because you've been doing it too long. And when you're moving on autopilot, you might leave steps out. So as you get older, you got to start working on paying attention to what you do. You can't be automatic no more like when you was young. That's the biggest problem, is doing something all the time will make you start doing it without thinking. That's the problem. You'll start not thinking and just doing it. And that's a problem, especially when you talk about driving a car. So when you start getting to the age where you falling asleep and all that, they bogus for leaving this man in office. He should have been out of office. The next day after this, they should have said, Mr. President, you got to step down. You know what I'm saying? They should be like, you got to step down. They bogus for leaving them out there like that. I've been saying that. They was foul. They should have made these men sit down. You know what I'm saying? You don't leave them out there like that. Make them sit down. They ain't going to never sit down. They think they could do it. They like your 3-year-old. You ever seen when your 3-year-old learn how to do something, but he ain't doing it right yet? And you trying to help him, what he tell you? I can do it. No, you can't, boy. But he swear he could do it, but he can't do it right. But he think he can. That's how when they get older, they think they can do it, but they really can't do it. He can't do it. He can't be president no more. You know what I'm saying? That man can't be president no more. Sit that man down. Sit him down. Because he talk crazy. Okay? How much proof do they need? It's time for him to sit down. Come on, man. Come on, man. So what terrorist country supposed to say when they see you doing the same thing you saying they shouldn't do? Man, sit him down, man. Sit him down. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say about that. Sit him down. Make sure you support the channel. Make a donation. Use the Super Chat, CashApp, Venmo, PayPal, all of that. And, pay attention to what's going on out here. And you young people need to start running for office. We need young people to be mayors and governors and senators and congressmen. You're going to have to take control of your own future. You're going to have to stop looking at the government as somebody else, and you're going to have to become the government and make the laws and start to govern your own future for you and your children. You got to go in there and make the necessary changes for the future generation. You can't just let somebody else keep making up all the rules. Victory.